Hello everyone. Today I'm finally back with the chess recaps. Decided to take a long break, just wasn't feeling it. But now we're back and we're picking up where we left. This is round 7 of Open Famalicão, a tournament that I played during the summer. I think it was the first summer tournament out of the 3 that I played. And in this round I got paired up against Rodrigo Pérez, a 1089 rated player. He had the white pieces, I had the black pieces. Let's see how the game proceeded. So my opponent started with d4. I went d5, knight f3, knight f6, and c4. And this can be a way to try to transpose into the Catalan. And honestly, I was fine with that. Whatever. e6. And now he can play something like g3 and go into a Catalan. But he played bishop g5. And I didn't really know this move order, but I was like, okay, I just play normal chess and see what he wants. He played h6. Question his bishop. He played bishop h4, bishop e7, e3, castles, and knight c3. And this kind of resembles a standard Queen's Gambit decline position. And yeah, it's nothing too special to say here. Here I played c5. I like this type of moves to blow up the position as soon as possible, especially when my opponent still has his king in the middle. So I feel like c5 is a well-timed break here, and I probably already equalized without too much trouble here. My opponent took on d5, and here I feel like I could have played either knight takes d5 or even, I mean, pawn takes on d5 doesn't look that good because after pawn takes on c5, then he's putting pressure on my pawn on d5. But I could play knight takes on d5, and then after bishop takes on e7, recapture with a knight here. You know, if he captures here, I don't know. Maybe I can even just play queen a5 and have some decent pressure here with rook coming to the 8 suit. But I decided to take on d4. And yeah, I was just expecting him to recapture on d4 with a piece. But he played d6, which I felt that it was a very weird move because now he allows me to uh, ruin his pawn structure. After d takes on c3, he took on e7, a good move. I took back on e7, and he took back on c3. And if we pause in this position, I guess there's pros and cons to what he did. So, okay, he got rid of my bishop pair, so he has the bishop pair, which is good for him. We have open position where the bishop pair shines. But in order to get that bishop pair, he damaged his structure, and now I have easy targets for my pieces. So that's what I was counting on. Knight d7 here, bishop e2, rook d8, plays queen c2 to dodge the x-ray on the d file, and here I play b6 to develop my light square bishop. He finally castles, and I play bishop e7. So yeah, I guess we have a pretty balanced position. If you would ask me what side I prefer black, just because I think it's easier to work on isolated pawns rather than working on a bishop pair. But okay, he played rook d1, played rook c8, starting to target c3, played bishop b5, and I felt like this move was weird. This move kind of indicates that my knights are kind of pinned. This knight is pinned here, and this knight is getting attacked twice, and a combination of, for example, uh, a combination of something like bishop takes on d7, I would have to recapture with the rook here, and you know, if he recaptures with the rook again, I have to capture with the queen, and then he can damage my pawn structure. So he's definitely planning some tactics like this. Although, you know, if I can move my queen away from this square, everything will be fine. And I don't know, it feels kind of weird for him to develop the bishop again to b5, and he's kind of, you know, telling me that he wants to just get rid of his bishop pair, which I feel like it's the only thing keeping his position together. I played queen c5, which I feel like is a nice move. I'm attacking c3, I'm attacking the bishop, double attack here. He pretty much, you know, has to do something about it. He trades off the bishop for the knight on d7, which I feel like, yeah, it's just set for him. I take back with the rook here, and okay, he can definitely take my knight on f6, but I mean, after taking the knight on f6, I probably can just take the rook on d1, he takes back, and I take on f6. And okay, I damaged my pawn structure, but I can even put a rook on the g file, you know, and pressure. But he actually just took on d7, but he plays rook d1 here. And, you know, I played knight f8, which is not the best move here. I could simply just take on c3. And the point is that, you know, after queen takes on c3 and rook takes on c3, this knight is not really hanging because he has back rank problems and I would checkmate him. So yeah, I kind of missed that. I totally missed that, which is not good. But thankfully, knight f8 is still a nice move that doesn't lose too much of the advantage here. Okay, after knight f8, my opponent played rook c1, and here, you know, I kind of knew that I was better. My opponent is very passive, doesn't have the bishop pair, and yeah, I can just maneuver and try to work around his weaknesses. Moves. One of the moves that I was considering is bishop takes on f3 to ruin his pawn structure, but I felt that although it would probably be fine for me to do that, I felt like there had to be something better in the position because I just didn't want to get rid of one of my best attacking pieces here. Yeah. So here I actually found the best move, which is queen h5. And this move is very direct. I'm basically threatening now to take on f3 and then take the bishop, so he has to do something about it. Also, I'm, you know, moving my queen from the c5 square to a more aggressive square on h5 and pressure his king. So it was a very nice maneuver that I found here. He played queen a4 here, which, you know, I kind of felt weird about it. I thought that he would probably have to take I I thought that he would probably have to play bishop g3 and just lose the pawn like this. And I would have gone for that, although I said that you know, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to just give up my bishop, but in this case, I actually want a pawn, and my knight can quickly jump into action with knight g6, maybe h5, h4. So he's actually under pressure, and this pawn is still weak, this pawn is still weak. So if I had this position on the board, I would be very happy. But he played a move that I wasn't expecting at all. Queen a4 here, and yeah, I just felt like this move didn't look right. Didn't look like it was possible. Felt like too good because now he doesn't have to move his bishop and he's attacking a7. And you know, I spent a lot of time here trying to figure out like how to punish this move. But actually, there's only one move that kind of wins the game, sort of. Sort of wins the game because you know, I get pretty much a piece for a couple of pawns, I think. But I didn't find that move. After thinking for a while here, you know, I played a6 just to protect my pawn on a7, but actually I had a winning move here, which I missed, unfortunately, which was b5. And b5 is very, very strong, because now if he takes on a7, I'll take on f3. He doesn't really have time to capture back the bishop, because he would lose another piece on h4. So we would have to play something like bishop g3, and now I can just move the bishop back to c6, and everything is safe. I'm just up a piece for a pawn, and yeah, this is just technically winning, and I would probably convert this without too much problem. But I missed this b5 move, which was very, very beautiful. Also, let's say after b5, the thing about b5 is that he has to keep an eye on the bishop or counterattack something. Counterattacking, as we saw, is actually the best move, but doesn't really work. But if he played something like, let's say, queen b4, now he's still protecting the bishop on h4. But now, I could simply play bishop takes on f3, and after g takes on f3, boom, rook c4. What a beautiful move. Attacking the queen, attacking the bishop, and it's GG's, game over. Yeah, this would be beautiful, but unfortunately I didn't see b5. I played a6, which is bad. He just misses a win. Now he gets time to consolidate his position with knight e1. Actually, yeah, I don't know why he didn't play bishop g3. I still think that it would be the best move. But okay, he didn't want his structure to be ruined, I guess. So he played knight e1, and here I played b5. Here I found b5, which was very good, and I thought, oh my god, I'm winning a piece. But it doesn't work quite right. It doesn't work like it worked last time, unfortunately, because of a small detail which changes everything. And the detail is that the knight is no longer on f3. So here my opponent played queen b4, and I thought, oh my god, I just won the game. After I found b5, I thought I'm a genius. But the problem here is that the game is not won at all. I realized while calculating, I spent a lot of time in this position, something like 25 minutes, maybe 30, I don't know. Something around that. Of course, the obvious move is rook c4. But the problem here is that my opponent has queen e7. And this is a very annoying move, because if I just simply take on h4, it takes on b7, and yeah, this is not good for me. Also, I thought that if I took on h2, for example, I thought that after g3 my rook is just trapped out of the game. He can start collecting my pawns. My knight is super misplaced, and yeah, I just didn't like this at all. So I didn't go for this. But yeah, the problem is that he has this queen e7 move, which is very, very annoying. And in the previous position, I could have played bishop takes on f3, but now the knight is on e1, so it doesn't work any longer. So yeah, it's very sad. And yeah, here the computer still says that I'm better after something like bishop d5, but this didn't feel clear at all to me. It felt like my pieces were just in very awkward positions, so I didn't go for this. After thinking for a while, after queen b4, I just played queen d5, which, it's not the best move. It's not an horrible move, but it's certainly a sad realization that the idea that I saw was just a bit too late to work. But okay, still centralizing my queen couldn't be bad. Also tying this knight to the g2 square because of this battery here along the diagonal. And okay, the game moves on. Queen b3, trying to trade pieces, makes a lot of sense by my opponent, challenging my queen placement. I played queen e4. Of course I don't want to trade queens. That would be a very bad idea. Attacking the bishop on h4 with queen e4, bishop e7, knight g6. I don't really know why he played bishop e7. I thought that bishop g3 would be better, but okay. Knight g6, attacking the bishop with tempo. Now he plays bishop b4, and here I play knight e5, and we were starting to get low on the clock by now. He spent some minutes, a lot of minutes after like queen h5 and b5, that whole combination, and I spent a lot of time after queen b4 trying to figure out the position. So we were both, I think, below 20 minutes here for sure. And yeah, there was no bonus time after move 40. It was just simply 90 plus 30 throughout the whole game. So after 95, he played queen c2, you know, trying to trade queens once again. I said nope. Queen h4, queen e2, and here I played bishop d5, pressuring the pawn on a2. Here my opponent played h3, which I didn't really understand that much, to be honest. And here I just played bishop c4, and now my bishop kind of looks very good on c4, controlling a lot of squares and putting a lot of pressure in his position. He played queen d2, which walks right into rook d8, queen b2 here by my opponent. My opponent is wasting way too much time and allowing me to just, put my pieces in better positions. I played queen h5. I guess this move, I don't really understand, to be honest. I don't remember what I was thinking with this move. I have to be completely honest. F4 here by my opponent. My opponent lashes out and tries to gain some space. Knight c6, knight f3, and here I remember being a little bit panicky because we were both starting to get very low on the clock, and in time pressure everything can happen, and I definitely didn't want to just make a blunder and lose the game. I played a5, felt very natural. The bishop only has one square to retreat to. Bishop a3, the bishop looks very bad on that square, and now I play queen d5, and with queen d5 I'm attacking the pawn on a2. I guess there's some ways that he can defend the pawn, like rook c2 or rook a1, but he decided to give up the pawn with queen c2, which in retrospect it wasn't that bad of a move. Actually, it was a very clever move, I think, because now I kind of felt forced to just take the pawn on a2, and after e4 here, I have to play either queen c4 or queen b3. The problem with queen c4 here is that I thought that this would just run into knight d2, but apparently here I have queen e2, which I didn't see at all. If he takes on a2, I take on d2, and I win the game. So yeah, this would actually been a very tricky move. But okay, I played queen b3, which is pretty much equally good, but it allows him to simplify into an endgame here where I'm up a pawn, but we have opposite colored bishops, which isn't that impressive. Here he played bishop c5, and here, I make a bad move, but as I said, when it comes down to getting low on the clock, I kind of start to panic and to be nervous because I don't feel like I am a good blitz player. So, I just try to simplify into things that I feel more comfortable with. And I played rook d1, which is a very, very bad move because it just simplifies too much. And, my rook was better than his rook. My rook was just controlling the d file. I could infiltrate to the e3, which would be the best move. I could just start pushing my pawns. But, I panicked and I said, okay, I'm pawn, I'm in a risk-free position. I'll still try to win the endgame, although my chances decrease a lot because I'm just trading my good rook for his bad rook. Takes, and now we reach this endgame where I have a slightly better position because I'm a pawn, but still it's just one pawn in an opposite color bishop endgame, which is tough to win for sure. Here he played knight d4, simplifying even more, and I just took on d4. It took back with the bishop, and I played bishop c2, attacking the pawn on e4. He played e5, and now I started bringing my king. He also started bringing his king. And yeah, after king d2, I played bishop e4, and this is actually a very critical moment in the game. My opponent, of course, I'm attacking the pawn on g2, and to me and to my opponent, it felt like he had to move the pawn either to g3 or g4. My opponent decided to play g4, but this is actually a very bad move, which gives me a big advantage. Kind of surprising that even in an opposite colored bishop endgame, you have to be very accurate. Here, the best move that my engine says, it's actually c4. And this is not an obvious move to see. One other move that the computer suggests is bishop c5 here, and just allowing me to take on g2 and just play h4 and just play this opposite color bishop endgame 2 pawns down. I don't understand honestly why the computer prefers to just give up a pawn instead of just pushing them. I don't really know. It's kind of weird. I guess my bishop on e4 is actually blocking the pathway of my opponent's king to protect the queen side. So maybe it's that. Probably, I don't know. It's very weird to understand these concepts. It's definitely not on my level. But okay, g4, king c6, h4, and yeah, my opponent had to try to bring his king to the queen side as fast as possible because, yeah, if he wastes time, it's GG over. And he did waste a lot of time. I mean, these pawn pushes that he's doing on the king side are completely useless. They don't really do anything, honestly. He's never going to create a passed pawn there when we are 4 against 4. So, yeah, he just allowed me to bring my king, and it's game over now. It's too late for him to get his king back on the queen side. I'll get there first, and I'll just push my pawn. So yeah, the rest of the game was pretty easy. Unfortunate, but even in opposite color bishop end games, you can still mess up and you can still win. But yeah, here my opponent resigned. Of course, there's nothing he can do. And I got the win, but definitely wasn't an easy win. My opponent played very well. I think he played way better than his actual elo. So yeah, we move on, and in the next round, I'll be facing a newly crowned FM in Portugal. So be sure to watch that. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much. Bye bye.